Hi everybody, this is Catherine Driscoll. I did my oral rehab presentation on deaf culture. I had a lot of difficulty while recording the video on the PowerPoint recording, so instead I did it this way. Culture is a group of people who share values, norms, beliefs, behaviors, tradition, and language, which we'll get back to. Capital D deaf versus lowercase d deaf. This is an important thing to remember. When you see the word deaf with a capital D, it means the person belongs to the deaf culture. The deaf culture rejects the word impaired and disability because they do not believe anything is wrong. They use American Sign Language, also known as ASL, to communicate. Typically, they do not use cochlear implants because they do not believe any form of intervention is necessary. They often live in communities. This helps them communicate with others in a normal basis and on emergencies. They believe in collectivism, which is to say they believe more in a group rather than an individual, which is the American way. Often, the individuals in the deaf culture have severe hearing loss from birth or early childhood, and it can be genetic. It doesn't have to be, though. If you see lowercase d, deaf, that means that the person has the same diagnosis of deaf or hard of hearing, but they have been assimilated into the hearing society. Often they have cochlear implants. They may use sign language and speak aloud, and they often do have interpreters to help them in school or work, and so on. Deaf culture acceptance of others. The deaf culture is not always accepting of others. They must conform to their beliefs. They will tolerate hearing citizens who do speak ASL, but they have difficulty accepting others. Deaf culture art. This is a beautiful part of the deaf culture that is not always included in presentations, papers, and so on. Deaf poetry, also known as ASL poetry, is spoken in American Sign Language, of course. Rhyming words do not give them the same sense of pleasure that we do when listening to a poem, so instead they use hand shapes to create their own form of poetry. Deaf view image art is art that depicts some aspect of being deaf. They are proud of their culture and they like to show it in their art. Often an American Sign Language sign with meaning is depicted in the art. You often sometimes see an eye to reinforce that their eyesight is their most important sense and that their eyes are their eyes as well as their ears. Technology. Cochlear implants, also known as CIs, can restore hearing loss and speech understanding. It is better for a young child to have a cochlear implant surgery before any receptive or expressive language delays occur. Sign-Allow gloves is a new technology developed by two University of Washington sophomores named Thomas and Naveed. The idea behind the gloves was to translate American Sign Language of the wearer into out-loud speech or text to interpret the language to a non-American Sign Language user. I like the idea behind this technology because it gives someone who believes in the deaf culture the reinforcement of being able to talk to the hearing society on a normal basis or during an emergency without having to wear cochlear implants. Deaf culture is beautiful. They share their beliefs and practices just like any other culture. Has a beautiful language all its own. I can't wait to learn more about it as my education continues, and hopefully I can take sign language too in the future. Thanks everybody for listening. Bye.